I submit this report from my temporal expedition to the Age of Enlightenment, 1600s through 1700s. My mission, to rediscover our lost history resulting from the event. The intellectual revolution I witnessed was remarkable, and I had the privilege of observing several key philosophers and their contributions to modern thought.
History is a vast early warning system. I have annihilated knowledge of the past. I will stop you, Mr. Benjamin, and your global history show. The people must be kept from knowing their history.
It's a global history show.
The Enlightenment view of discovering truth by observation and the use of reason grew out of the scientific revolution and the work of scientists like Copernicus, Galileo, and Sir Isaac Newton.
Enlightenment, 1600s through 1700s. A group of philosophers questioned traditional beliefs, resulting in political, economic, and social changes.
In the coffee houses of London and Paris, I witnessed heated debate about natural rights and governance. These new ideas were a reaction to absolute divine right monarchies that were most common in Europe and beyond. Thomas Hobbes argued that without a strong government, society would collapse into chaos. His conviction that people must surrender some freedoms for security was met with criticism by many Enlightenment thinkers. John Locke's ideas spread like wildfire through intellectual circles. His assertion that government exists to protect people's natural rights, including life, liberty, and property, resonated deeply. I observed intense discussions about his radical notion that people could rightfully overthrow a government that failed to protect their natural rights. In Geneva, I encountered Jean-Jacques Rousseau, sharing his views on the social contract. His concept that government authority comes from the people's collective will was revolutionary and will later develop into majority rule. In France, Baron de Montesquieu's proposal for separation of governmental powers, executive, legislative, judicial, to prevent tyranny, were gaining traction among reformers. Beyond thoughts of how to improve government, social reforms were being discussed. William Wilberforce was arguing for an end to slavery, and Mary Wollstonecraft was arguing that if women were allowed to pursue advanced education, they would prove equal intellectual ability. Of course, we could see that this would later contribute to suffrage being extended to women. Additionally intriguing was observing the enlightened despots at work. I watched Maria Theresa of Austria-Hungary and Catherine the Great of Russia attempt to balance absolute power with progressive reforms. Their efforts to implement Enlightenment ideas while maintaining control created fascinating tension, and ultimately failure to stay true to these Enlightenment ideals. The impact of Enlightenment ideas was evident in the documents I saw being drafted, particularly the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, 1789, and the Declaration of the Rights of Women and Female Citizen, 1791.
The Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen was a core statement of the French Revolution, and the Declaration of the Rights of Women and Female Citizen was Olympe de Gouges' response to the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen, in which she called for equal treatment of women and advocated for women's rights.
These writings clearly show how Enlightenment principles were challenging traditional power structures and would continue to spark significant political changes. The Enlightenment ideas were seeds of modern democratic thought taking root, and they still are bearing fruit in our world today. I hope you're full of much anticipation for my next temporal expedition to the past. Remember, knowledge is power and history rhymes. Let's get dangerous.
I failed to stop you from discovering that power comes from the people, and insisting government protect the people's rights will prevent tyranny, and that women must have the right to vote, and no one should be enslaved. This is not over. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past.
It's a